Hey, dear one, warm welcome. This is these are going to be the insights and slides from a summary, so to speak, about yesterday's roundtable meeting. I am hosting once a month roundtable of tribal wisdom, where people that I know and trust personally are invited, and we are sharing our wisdom, our insights and experiences, or asking questions, because coming together, we are igniting each other's wisdom. And yeah, it's really, really beautiful. It has been beautiful again yesterday. And here I'm sharing the slides and a little bit of the summary publicly, so you can benefit from those meetings too. So, okay, I will go into screen sharing mode. So, okay, let's see, here we go. Okay. So yeah, those of you who know this already, this is the Roundtable of Tribal Wisdom, and we are meeting once a month. And this month's topic has been attachments and connections. And that's really important because we all have personal relationships, and to have a deeper insights what is actually taking place in our personal connections. Yeah, this might benefit you. Yeah, and people meeting via Zoom, the group that is meeting, it's always important to have a clear intention. And the clear intention is the tribe is counseling the tribe, and everyone coming to the table is seen as an unlimited and free being, and therefore treated with love, honor, and respect. We changed recently the day where we normally meet. It was the third Sunday in a month, but some people could only come on the Saturday. So we changed to the third Saturday in a month. But 2 weeks ago, we had a little incident happening that day. So we have been really, really late. And yeah, in case you want to throw me a message, you can, of course, comment below the video, but if you don't want to comment publicly, you can throw me a message at roundtable@natalieesser.com. Okay. And I started with the definition of attachments. I was looking it up because English isn't my my mother's language, as you can hear. And so the definition of attachment is the act of attaching, or the condition of being attached. Something such as a tie, band, or fastener that attaches one thing to another, a bond, as of affection or loyalty, fond regard. And I was then looking up, you can find the definition on psychologydictionary.org about attachment. I was wondering what creates such a bond. And you find there attachment, the tendency of human infants, that's important, and animals to become emotionally close to certain individuals and to be calm and soothed while in their presence. Human infants develop strong emotional bonds with the caregiver, particularly a parent, and attachment to their caregivers is a step towards establishing a feeling of security in the world. And I found that to be really, really interesting, that definition of attachment. And to me, this definition shows clearly that an attachment isn't created between equals or free beings, that there is a neediness that is in the game. And I find this to be really, really important to keep in mind, that we are this bonding that is happening between an infant and an adult, that it comes from this position of being totally helpless and being totally at the mercy of the adult. And I personally would question the way such a bonding is normally taking place, because we should grow up and not attach ourselves to other out of a position of neediness. Because as an adult, we still have that attachment, and that's just not healthy. Okay, so this is funny. A picture, attachment parenting, the college years, and it shows quite clearly how attachments are creating this kind of codependent relationship. It's really comfortable to not grow up, and for the for the parent who isn't able to let go, it's not so comfortable, but it's the nature of codependency. So everybody seems to gain something from such a relationship that is created by attachments, but actually it's not. And yesterday, what the participants of the roundtable were clearly voicing was that it is attachment is a lot about this safety, and it is about our comfort zone, and it seems to be more difficult to let go and to really grow up and mature and be a free being, and where it's not comfortable, where it's not safe. And I found the way they were expressing this, they could express it better. I'm just summarizing this here, so you can think about those feelings of safety that are actually keeping us kind of trapped, and who are keeping us from evolving. So own observation around that topic I have made is, I can say that we as humans are mostly in a childlike state. And those of you who know me a little bit more, you know I'm speaking very often about abuse and spiritual abuse, and about trauma, and the way trauma is created in kids. There are parts of us who have been traumatized as children, and those parts of us, they stay in that childlike position, and coming from this childlike position of not maturing, of not growing up, we are then normally not being aware of, are searching for providers. We need something from another being, because we stay in that childlike, helpless position where we think we need something from another being, and that is what is creating attachments. So we are craving for all kinds of stuff, for attention, for validation, reassurance, for safety, for affection, and you might think about what it is that you are searching in relationships, what you think you are needing from the other person, and if our needs aren't met, then we might get angry or sad or yeah. But it's not a healthy dynamic. And I underline that attachments are energetic bonds because I'm working a lot on an energetic level. I'm very aware of energetic dynamics, and they are really like bonds that tie us to another person that we have an attachment towards. And those bonds, those ties are really, really important. You might want to check out my video about networks and portals, because this shows how actually energy feeding and also psychic attacks are happening through those energetic bonds. And you can also find in this video how come that those bonds sometimes are not even a direct bond, but that there might be people in between, and it's still working. It's really like a kind of network that is created by those energetic bonds between people. It's like a huge, huge spider net. And yeah, please check this out if you want to go deeper into the topic. Okay. Very often we feel connected to people who have the same attachment. And this might be a country, a religion, football club, or a new age guru. If you are listening to some spiritual teacher and you are then not only creating an attachment toward this person, but also to other people who are in the same community, in the same club, who share this way of identification. And I can tell you, this is not a real connection. And you would find out in case you are changing this, if you are no longer having an attachment, if you are changing religion, if you are changing what you had in common, then you will no longer be of interest to them, because it has never been a real genuine connection. It was just created by having the same attachment. And yeah, this can be a sobering moment, but actually I love those sobering moments because I love truth. And I don't want to live in illusions and in a delusional state. And I want to know the people who I can have real connections with and not have an attachment because we are coming from the same country or are following the same leader. And the really sad thing about those attachments is that they are actually keeping us from having real relationships. Because if we are bound by attachments, we are not free to have real interactions, because those attachments, they make us act and react out of a kind of programming. And we are part of a hive mind, and we are just part of that attachment, and we are not free in the way we are having interactions. And therefore attachments might feel safe, but they are actually just a prison. And yeah, please don't feel offended if you are from the United States. This has just been an example how we can create attachment through identification. You can be an American and not have an attachment towards your country. And but those identifications and attachments are very, very often used to kind of exploit the own people and to turn them against other people. And me being born in Germany, I know, our history, how easily people can be turned against each other. And yeah, how this identification with something like your country or your religion or whatever it might be can turn into something really toxic, where it is no longer working for a good cause together, how it can easily be twisted and inverted into something that can be destructive. And yeah. The other point is that, as I said, people who are coming together in a group, they have those attachments and ties because they are in the same group, and it's a psychological art form, but a really, really destructive one. And I have observed that a lot of my life, the art of grouping, and I can tell you, it's all about power. It's all about energy. It's all about the people who are leading the group and the entities behind it, the egregores that are created, using all of the power from those people they are grouping. And I think that is also very important to keep in mind how this is really abused. Yeah, and it's interesting. Here is a funny picture. I told you not to open that attachment. It's really interesting how the wording of computers is really telling how attachments, how destructive they can be. And also it shows that AI is using those dynamics to bond us. But yeah, that's a huge topic in itself, how AI is mimicking us and is using that against us. Okay, and from my point of view, attachments are simply abusive. And attachments create the bonds and ties that are used for energy feeding and energetic attacks. And it's really interesting if you're able to track energy, what I am. So anytime someone attacks, I am able to find them. And yeah, I can also see who is used. Very often people are not aware they are used because they are just the portal for the entity behind it. It's really quite interesting to see that. And yeah, but if you can not track energies, you can simply not ask your mind, because your mind is bringing up all kinds of stories. Go and connect with your own heart and find out what part of you is opening your energetic field for such an attack, because for an attack there must be an attachment, there must be an energetic bond or something like that. And to find out what is actually making it possible to be attacked, and when just feeling into yourself and just connecting with your own heart, you become resilient, and also you will find answers in your heart by just simply knowing what happened. And of course, this is nothing you can learn from one day to another. It's a process over time to come back to your own heart and soul more and more and more. And yeah, it's the safest thing you can have. You don't need attachments toward other beings if you are really in alignment with yourself and you're really connected with yourself, because then you are free to have real connections and don't need those attachments at all. Yeah, as I said, there are entities who are using a whole network of such ties and egregores, and yeah, the whole religious field. There are entities that are dressing up as some ascended master or some god or holy being or something like that. And those entities, they feed from the energy of that group, from those people who worship them, and they use such a network and they manipulate the people who are in such a network. Okay. And as I also said, people, if you don't have direct line, so to speak, and not a direct attachment towards someone or an entity, they might try to reach out to you indirectly because they will use people close to you. I have spoken in another video about it was a round table called Unexpected, where I call about where I was talking about the Agent Smith effect, how people are kind of taken over by kind of program, and how your neighbor or someone you know can turn into kind of Agent Smith because they're kind of used. And I said, if you want to go deeper into the topic, please check out the video Networks and Portals. There you can find how the whole network is working and how people close to you can be used as a portal. And also, again, the more you come home to yourself, the more you can trust in yourself, and those attachments simply fall off, and you are then free to create true, real relationships. And to me, these are my definitions. You will find your own, but it's worth thinking about it, what a real relationship looks like for you. And for me, it looks the way that if I love someone, if I truly love someone, I will love them no matter if they and I agree or disagree on a topic. They can have another political point of view, they can have another spiritual point of view, and I will not allow this to step in between us, because I will not identify by any political or religious point of view. I am really relating from heart to heart, and this is how we can prevent to be turned against each other. And so someone having a different opinion or other interest than I have, this is not challenging me, because I am not, if I am not identified with my perspective and point of view. I also don't assume that the other person has an obligation towards me, because if I truly love someone, I want them to be free, and I want them to be free to leave me anytime they wish to. And I want to be free also. I don't want to have obligations. I want whatever I share with others, I share it because I want to and not because I have to. And it's very unhealthy to trying to force someone. Yeah, to that's using force is really not an intelligent thing at all if you need force. Yeah. And also, I don't sacrifice my own best interests. There might be situations where I say, okay, I will do something for another person, but there's no, it's coming freely from my heart, and there's no sacrifice involved. The moment someone else needs me to sacrifice my best interest, that's not a healthy relationship at all. And yeah, that's the reason why I say it is beneficial for us to really find for ourselves what is really important to us, because then we can check if situations turn up in our life, then we can check, is this created by some attachment, or is it a real relationship coming from the heart? And also, I can be totally myself and the other can be themselves. And of course, we don't want to be rude, but we can be honest in a respectful way. And the other can be honest too. So in a true relationship, to me, that means there are no power games, there's no force used, and there's no manipulation taking place. And in case stuff like that shows up in a true relationship, we would then be able to look at the dynamic and to kind of grow together to find out, okay, it seems I have an issue here, and explain why we acted the way we acted, and not take it too personally, and simply grow and evolve together. And yeah, to become aware of attachments we have and to let go of them. So a true relationship is so beneficial. And I know it doesn't give the feeling of safety, but actually it's way more safe, because then having a true connection, heart to heart, that's as safe as it can get. And yeah, real connections for me are a matter of the heart. It's the heart, and that really counts, and not some, yeah, um, identifications through the mind. It's a real heart to heart. It's a feeling. It's a real relationship, and they're also absolutely free. And that I find to be really important to, yeah, figure out what is really important for you, what is a true relationship, what does it mean for you, and to really become aware where you might have some neediness and the tendency to create attachments. Someone said yesterday that fear is really important, and that's important to keep in mind, that we are creating attachments and we stay in unhealthy relationships because we are scared. And it's really important to look those fears in the eye. And it's so freeing if we are then acting from our real being. Yeah. And you might know this picture. And to me, that is, there shouldn't be codependency. And in our way we are interacting with children, when they are small, they need our protection. But at the same time, we need to give them the space so they can grow up. This is really, really important. And we can have truly loving relationship with each other. And that's beyond words. It's so much more than everything we can create out of fear, out of manipulation, out of pressure, but to really relate heart to heart and soul to soul, because we want to, because we truly love each other. And actually, that's what we really want. And we have to be brave to go for it, I think. Yeah. So I hope this gives you some inspiration, and yeah, you may want to ponder a little bit about it. And I know it's not easy to let go of attachments and identifications, but becoming aware of it, that's the first step. And another participant said yesterday that it's a lot about becoming aware, because we are already connected, and it's a matter of becoming aware. And I think that's really insightful too. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm really, really grateful for people in my life that are there not because of an obligation and attachment, but because they are free beings, and it is really, really beautiful to have them in my life. And yeah, I hope you will have such true and healthy relationships yourself, and that you find, um, yeah, the strength and the love in your own heart that can be free of those identifications and attachments. You can, yeah, enjoy real, true connections and relationships. Okay. Take good care, and yeah, see you next time. Your Natalie. Bye.